Ever wonder how the newest ships stack up against the colossal cruise liner? Brace yourself today because I am going to unveil the untold tales of these behemoths, revealing every detail from the awe-inspiring to the downright disappointing. Happy New Year, everyone. Christmas is coming. We are not disappointed. The developers for Sharkbite 2, Abracadabra Studios, has made a mid-Christmas event update releasing two new ships. The Titanic for 100,000 shark teeth and the Britannic for 120,000 shark teeth. The Britannic is being labeled as a limited exclusive, and so we can only get it for a short period of time. I think that's going to be open for about 2 weeks. Many of you do not have the shark teeth stashed away for you to grab these new ships, and some don't even have the new cruise ship yet that is also priced at 100,000 shark teeth. That was me for a year, and over the weekend, I'd saved enough up in anticipation of this release to purchase one of these ships. I was also able to partner with a pro Sharkbite player, True Boss, to complete a full review and comparison of these ships, as he owned both the Titanic and the cruise ship. And at the end of this video, you will not only know where I stand with these ships, you will hopefully know what you want to grind shark teeth for first. Starting out with the stats, the Titanic and Britannic are tied for size and are now the largest ships in the game. The developers have tweaked the cruise ship stats, dropping it from the largest ship to the third largest. Here's a screenshot of what the cruise ship stats were a week ago. See it being the largest? What I am showing you here are some size comparisons during gameplay. At this scale, does size really matter between these three ships? I don't think it has an impact on what I choose, but let me know what your thoughts are on this. Clearly, the larger the ship, the better, just in terms of surviving against a shark, but all three are absolutely huge. As an honorable mention, all three ships have the same lowest ranking in the whole game for agility score, which is to be expected when all other boats look like toys in comparison. So I will not get in much detail on this. Now, the interesting part is the speed. This stat is incredible. The Titanic and cruise ship have the same speed. However, the Britannic starts to pay off for the extra 20,000 shark teeth with an added speed stat, making it the faster of the three. But how fast is that exactly? Both the cruise ship and the Titanic, as you can see here, top out at 130 knots, while the Britannic is bumped up to 137 knots, which puts it up there with the jet ski. I think in both instances, the speeds are very comparable and also competitive. The devil is in the details, as they say, and so I want to do a side-by-side comparison of the features of the ships. Starting off with the horn, here's the horn for all three ships. As you can tell, all three ships have the exact same horn, except the Britannic is a slightly higher pitch. I personally don't think there is enough difference to say one is better than the other, but what do you think? Next are the lifeboats. Now, the Britannic and Titanic are stacked up with 4 different lifeboats to jettison, while the cruise ship only has 2. And so what's interesting is that all three boats offer different lifeboats. Now, the cruise ship is equipped with 2 small dinghies, each with the capacity to hold 5 people and travel at 100 knots, while the Titanic and Britannic are using a version of the wooden motorboat, which can hold up to 6 people and travel about the same 100 knots. Given that the Titanic-style ships provide a total of 24 seats on these boats, that is enough for everyone to be on the ship and escape at the same time, whereas the cruise ship can only allow 10 people to escape with the boat, and then the rest would have to jump overboard. So hats off to the Titanic and Britannic ships for clearly winning in terms of lifeboats. And to dive even further into the details, I want to talk about the style of the boats, and here's where I get cringed up. The Titanic and the Britannic are too similar, and we were not given unique ships. The model of the Titanic and Britannic are literally the same. There are only a few distinguishing details which separate them. In fact, even the buoys say Titanic on the Britannic boat. Here are the differences that I observed so far. There's different colors of the boats, different colors of the lifeboats. The map in the control room says Britannic and the other says Titanic. The flags are different. And lastly, the grand staircase stairs and pillars are a different material. The Britannic has a white marble looking color to them, whereas the Titanic seems to have used wood. Then also on the ceiling of the grand staircase, there is a scene of the Sistine Chapel by Michelangelo in the Britannic. However, instead of a man nearly touching God, it is a shark. That is too dope. I love the developer's sense of humor on this one. Now, the Titanic does not have that, so the differences are cool, right? I mean, what they did make different was outstanding. However, the differences are so few and far between that they are basically the same boat, but have a different paint job. Now, what these boats do have in common is that there are multiple benches to sit on. You can also sit on top of the smokestacks and at the bow of the boat. The grand staircase is the only interior room. However, they did have some cool features on the ships like lights from the various floors and the anchor of the bow of the ship and the flag in the back of the ship. And also you can get to the highest point of the map by climbing the wood pole on the ship, which gets you even higher than the smokestacks. Now, how do these glides stack up with the cruise ship's features? Well, in my opinion, it is apples to oranges because the cruise ship has all of the modern amenities such as a pool with a deck with 2 racing water slides. There are a few galleries of art, modern benches or chairs, and most importantly, a dance hall. This is by far my favorite ship. I prefer these fun ships which add an extra element to the game beyond fighting sharks. It gives an opportunity for players who really appreciate the game somewhere to socialize outside of the lobby. So who wins the aesthetic match? I would say it's a personal preference. If you would prefer the history, you're going to want to either choose the Titanic or Britannic. However, if you want a fun boat, you are going to default to the cruise ship. It is a ship that is by the people and for the people. I have an absolute blast playing with the cruise ship. I don't own it yet, but when I get to drive it, I always have a good time. Okay, so now that we have gone over the costs, stats, and features, which boat should you save up for? I think the choice is clear. It's going to be the Britannic as it is a limited time boat. You're going to want to pick this up while you still can. However, after that, I would go with the cruise ship. The cruise ship is so much different than the Titanic style boats. It is really worth a purchase so that you can show off your dance moves. Now, let's say the Britannic was not a limited edition. Would my order of choice still be the same? Yes, because the Titanic is a slower version of the Britannic, and it also does not have the painting in the grand staircase. And next, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to our channel for more exciting Sharkbite content. You might not agree with my conclusion, but I guarantee you there is no regret in saving up that much shark teeth to get one of the 3 coolest boats in the whole game. Until next time, guys, later.